folks, welcome back. I'm Sean. This is Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. Jory, you can't see this. I'm not a corporate sellout, but Molson Canadian and Coors Light sponsor me, so I guess I kind of am. We
Nice.
got to pay the bills that way. Jory Avner, all the way from Chicago, and one of the things we were touching on before we wrapped on the last segment was technology and improving and not being stagnant. Um, a lot of people also don't realize, you said you were getting a musician for 10 years, and with that, that means you get paid. And it always blows me away how, you'll be doing an event and they've got money for the caterer and the parking and the venue and the food. And then, oh, hey, I've got a gig.
Yeah.
I get $400 left. You want to do it? They don't equate the fact that the $400 isn't for that show. It's for all the time it took you
My
to get to
gosh.
that point in your
Yes.
life.
That I have literally had that same sentiment discussed with other songwriters so many times. Like it's not about the 4 hours. That's not what you're paying for. You're paying for the 15 plus, 20 plus, and with some guys like 30, 35, 40 plus years of experience. And I've always said this to people when they say what's your rate, and give them my rate, and they say, oh well, that's too much. I'm like, well, you can go and hire a high schooler for $50, and
Right.
just don't be surprised when you get a high schooler for $50.
That's
You
exactly
know what
what
I
you'll
mean?
get,
And I'm
100%.
not trying to put anyone down by saying that, but it's because I've met some kids that are out of high school that are just great. They just they really naturally bloom on that stage. But there's other things that go into it. Things like speed, efficiency, being able to set up and break down, being able to manage yourself and your time, and just knowing how to read a room. Like years of experience learning how to read a room. That's
Sorry, my light's
those are
going
all
on, but you're
things.
right. I mean, and you're
Oh,
nailing
you're
it.
good.
It's funny because everything that you're saying, I almost feel like I should get a group of musicians together and do a seminar for like event planners and wedding planners and those types of things because again, and let's call it what it is. I mean, some musicians go, okay, I want this, and it's like a bank number, and they mail it in, and that's not right too. I mean, you gotta meet in the
Mhm.
middle. Um, you gotta, start pro, end pro, be pro all the time, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, I mean, I think that if you're ever gonna phone it in when you show up at a gig, then you might be in the wrong business.
Amen, brother.
We all have times where something's going on where you just can't shake it. I can understand that, but if you're just showing up just for that paycheck, there are easier ways to get a paycheck, you know?
A lot easy, yeah, easy,
Yeah.
and sometimes a bigger one too, right? It's really, uh,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a passion project and people don't understand it. So Plaything comes out September 16th. So that was about 10ish, 11 days ago. What's the reaction been for you?
I've had just tons of overwhelmingly positive feedback on it, and people are buying it. People are supporting me with it. I've been getting messages from people saying "Oh my God, this is the best thing that you've ever done," and I'm like, "Yes, it is." I agree. And the other thing about it too is that so this single was released kind of with alongside with kind of the Twitch platform that I've been using as kind of a independent funding project for going into the studio and doing the more complete project, the rest of the record. Um, and so this single was put out in advance while we were continuing to do the pre-production for the rest of the record, to help fund the rest of the record and generate kind of enthusiasm and hype around it. But just, I mean, the things that we've got kind of loaded up and ready to go into the studio are, I mean, oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
But the things that we've got going on, I mean, I'm blown away by it, and I feel like that's, in my opinion, that's what you want when with your own music and when you write. You want to impress yourself, and I'm blown away by it. So
Well, everybody's always their own worst critic, and
yeah. Oh yeah.
I like to say when I've done good, I know I've done good. You don't have to bring it to my attention. When I've done bad, I also know I've done bad. I'll be the first person to
Oh,
um,
100%.
with the new stuff, like, so you're gonna let this thing go out. It's, it's gonna marinate with the crowd for a little bit. You're gonna hit them with some more stuff, I guess
Mhm.
in the next few months. Um, what I guess what is your goal? I saw in the pressure you want to get out, you want to start playing in the States, Canada, and man, we'd love to have you up here.
Mhm.
It's great.
Oh
Don't do
yeah.
it in the winter. Don't do it in the winter.
Oh no. I actually I've toured through Ontario, and I got to play in Toronto, Hamilton. Um, oh God, this was years ago now. I went up to uh, what was it? Aurelia, I think is what it's
Really?
called.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and
That's
then
they call that
yeah,
casino country.
Casino Country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played up there. It was really cool. It was a tiny little town, like right on the lake, and there was like this cool little community place. It wasn't necessarily a bar, but they served beer. And I only had like an hour long set there, but then like a tornado blew through up there,
Oh
and
wow.
so we all got stuck in there, and so I just kept playing, and it was
Nice.
great. It was one of the best shows of the entire run.
That's
So
weird. And Toronto's one of
yeah,
those towns. I've never had the opportunity to play in Chicago. I've played in Buffalo and Detroit and New York and stuff. But
Buffalo's cool.
Toronto's one of those towns. The guy sweeping the floors has got an opinion. He'll let you know it. What's the scene like
Yeah.
in your hometown?
It's really good. It's really diverse. It's all over the place. I really like Toronto's scene, by the way. Like, um, yeah, it was really great, and also the city is beautiful. Um, but yeah, it's really diverse here. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of people doing kind of experimental stuff too. Like, I would say that it's kind of bordering on maybe not just being music anymore. It's almost like a performance thing.
Yeah,
um and there's a lot of venues here that actually like will support that and like go out on a whim and just say, yeah, sure, you come by and do your thing, whatever it is. And even knowing that it probably doesn't have very much mass appeal, but it's like they're just very supportive of people doing their thing. And the scene here is very helpful. There's the whole thing about Midwesterners being friendly, so
yeah, no question, no question.
yeah.
And I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Chicago. I had the opportunity. I have friends down there. A school friend lives down there that I've visited a couple times. I've always found, and Chicago and Toronto, I feel have the same vibe.
Yeah.
Um, they've got that kind of the waterfront that she's cold in the winter because the wind comes ripping off, or it's hot in the
Oh
summer.
yeah.
You can walk 2 blocks and there's your next bar with some sort of music or something going on.
Hmm.
There's always a musical event taking place. Like it's a lively city, right? There's something to do if you want
Oh
to do it,
yeah.
but you can kick back and relax too.
Yeah, that's very much the case. I've always said that Chicago is a city of dive bars. So like, there's all the best venues here have like just kind of a really weird atmosphere to them, like almost an element of danger. So
You kind of need that, right? You kind of need
yeah,
that, you know.
yeah.
So what's your timeline of getting your album out? You said you're doing the Twitch thing to kind of fund it. You get the first single out. What's your timeline, I guess, to kind of kick it out, and where do you see that going?
It's probably going to be out next year.
Okay.
We were initially planning to be in the studio like end of October. We were going to go to Steve Albini's place. The infamous Steve Albini's place is here in Chicago. It's Electrical Audio. So we were initially planning for that, but then like as we were working on the pre-production, as we were working on, you know, just like the project, and it just started becoming like way more than just like we're gonna get the band together and like go track some stuff. Like it became like way more epic. So we've been looking at other venues, and we're trying to secure something by kind of first second quarter of next year.
Or not. And I love the way you say quarter, man, because that means you're talking like a businessman. And a lot of people, they do have to realize it's fun, but it's a business, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's the best business. It beats flipping burgers, but like, you
It
know,
does, but each and every one
yeah,
of us are independent contractors, and we have to, do everything
100%.
from, perform to know how to take care of our own taxes, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and there's I think the other downside to that is that because not a lot of people know how to do that, there's not a lot of help for it, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
You're right. So we got to get going here. We're running out of time, but one of the things I want you to tell my viewers, because you're going to be new to them. You were new to me when Raquel said, I was like, man, why haven't I heard of this dude before? Listen to the tunes, loved it. Where are my viewers going to find you?
You can find me on my website, just joryavner.com. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/joryavnermusic. You can find me, you search me in Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. It's even across the board. If you just search for me on any of those sites, you'll find me. But yeah, my website is probably the most centralized place where you can get access to everything, tour dates, you know, uh, photos, music videos, pictures, things like that, whatever you want. And also links, obviously, to all the records. So,
Fantastic. I really want to thank you for doing this. And again, we got our time zone thing eventually
yeah.
taken care of. Um,
Thank you so much.
Great to finally meet you. We'll be
Yeah,
following what you're going
likewise.
to do. Let's stay in touch, man. We'll keep in touch with what's going on, and we'll see where you're at.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Peace.